Uh,
He's not him. He's in a whole different league.
yes. Welcome back to episode 9, probably 9, maybe 9 of Nicozcast
79.
We'll lost count.
79.
You lost count.
This is like yeah, because it's been like 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks since the last one, because I got caught up with exams and then spring break, and then more exams. But yeah, only
He's
three,
lying.
only 3 people today, because I guess this is very last minute and it's going to be very short. And I just wanted to put one of these out and also have a little more time to study tonight. But yeah, it's just me, Joey, and Ashy for right now.
I just saw the fucking video.
You think you did good on exams, bro?
Oh yeah, all my exams before my spring break, I know genetics and animal physiology, I got an A on those exams, and I haven't gotten my Japanese midterm back yet, so I really don't know how I did on that
Nerd.
one. That one could be like a B or C. I'm usually not good on those exams.
Nerd. No, I'm joking.
Nerd.
I know. I got a microbiology exam in 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, I guess we could just talk about a couple cartoons then.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of cartoon watching lately.
So okay. First, I gotta ask you this since I feel like this will go a little faster. What do you think of Avatar so far? Since we've been watching it I've been watching it recently with Nika. Do you have any like opinions on it so far, or?
It's cool. I think it's
Well,
cool. Well,
for you,
Yeah.
I'm not very. I don't have a lot to say about it. Like, I don't really have any problems, but I also don't have many thoughts other than I really like the characters. I don't really know if I have a favorite right now.
So it's like Crofilas, where it's like he could do a review on it, but like it's like he can't really do it since it's like
it kind of like speaks for itself.
Yeah. Like everybody's already praised it enough where it's to the point where he can't really add anything else that people have already said. I get what you mean.
Stop trauma dumping.
Sorry.
Bro, I really
that's my favorite meme clip.
Bro, I think, bro, like as soon as you said that, I really think that Iroh would say that to fucking Zuko. Stop.
Zuko said that to Toph.
Oh wait, true. Wait, we're not. God, that shit was so funny. What about regular? Well, now that you like rewatched regular show, bro, how we feeling?
I'm so bad. The second we start the episode, I get added by IRLs.
Bruh.
You know,
it's okay.
All right, it looks like it's gonna be a duo for you two.
It's all good.
Oh yeah, out there.
We got this.
All right, see you, bro.
All right, see ya.
Alrighty, so regular show. I think this rewatch definitely cemented it in like at least the top 5 or 3 favorite cartoon slot. I kind of have like I don't really. I guess I could say I have a lot to say and not a lot to say about it. So I think most of this rewatch just definitely nostalgia fueled love for this show, because this was one of the biggest ones I watched growing up. Like following aired episodes was this Adventure Time, Looney Tunes Show, and like Ben 10 Omniverse.
Yeah, Ben 10.
And regular show. There's a lot about it I didn't understand when I was younger, because it's very much like, okay, this was originally, I think, supposed to be kind of an adult tailored show, but he got it for Cartoon Network, so a lot of it has adult themes that are just like covered up by like stupid stuff, like the fact that they drink soda all the time.
It's like everybody pretty much. Yeah. I think someone that like described it best, I think I've seen, where it's like, it's kind of like the SpongeBob effect, where like, you know how it's like through SpongeBob season 1 through 3, right? It's like that, where it's like the dumber jokes the kids will understand and laugh at, right? But the smarter or like more like self-aware jokes that adults will understand, Like the adults will laugh at that. And I was like, yeah, that's a good way to describe it because regular show has so many jokes like that. It's kind of crazy. Um, remember that remember that joke, bro? No, bro. Wait, you gotta tell them about the story when Mordecai said you pissed me off.
Oh yeah. I remember because they went back and censored a lot of the episodes that had some
Yeah,
slightly I guess higher swearing. I think it was mostly just pissed was like the only thing they said. I don't think they ever said like
yeah. They never.
hell or
They
damn.
no, no. They only said yeah. It's like the most PG curses like you can ever get. The
Yeah.
only time, the only thing they ever said was like piss and crap. I don't think they
Yeah.
ever gone farther than that.
Yeah, I know Benson said crap. I can't remember if that got censored. I think it did, but pissed was the biggest one because I remember watching the episode and then, it was a cartoon on Cartoon Network, so I thought it was okay to say that. So I said I told my mom that she pissed me off one day because I
Yeah.
heard Mordecai say it and she got so angry at me for repeating that. I was like, "Oh,
Bro.
okay."
Oh my god! It really just reminded me of this like one time, right? I was like super young, right?
Right.
Um, you know Death Battle? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Um, so like I don't know if you ever remember this Death Battle. It was like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where they all like battled in the battle
Battle
royale.
Royale. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure like one of them said Raphael's a badass.
Yeah.
Oh no, he said either badass or kick the hell. And I said that like in front of my parents. I got in trouble too. 'Cause
Oh.
I genuinely did not know what those two words meant.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I feel like a lot of kids like got their first swearing exposure from the internet or TV, and then
Yeah,
they repeat it
definitely.
to their parents and get in trouble.
We just didn't know that it were curse words, right?
Yeah,
How are we supposed to know? Oh man, I mean, piss is not really a curse word.
it's not. It's just kind of like very rude,
Yeah, just
inappropriate
yeah,
for younger.
yeah, for a kid show at least. Yeah. Um, regular show. God,
I appreciate regular show above a lot of other cartoons, not just for my nostalgia or like it's necessarily finale. If I gotta be completely honest, I think its
yeah,
finale is very conclusive, but it's like
yeah.
I I don't like I don't think it's that great. Like there's a lot of finales I like more
Oh,
than it. I like of
oh,
course Amphibia I like more than it. I have not
yeah.
finished Adventure Time, so I can't say anything yet.
Adventure Time finale is probably like
Gumball
one of
I
my
have
all-time favorites.
Gumball doesn't have a
Yeah,
finale technically yet.
yeah. It doesn't really.
Looney Tunes show didn't get one. Gravity Falls I
Yep.
like more than regular show. Amphibias I like more than regular shows.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate what I like about regular show's finale is it's somewhat self awareness. Like I always thought the coolest thing about the final season and how it all comes down to Pops fighting the chosen one or being the chosen one, fighting his evil self and resetting the universe every time. I always liked it a lot because and it was in the finale too. They show it. Pops was J.G. Quintel's first ever animated character
Yep.
that he ever drew, and I always thought that was cool. Like making him the chosen one because he's like his first character. It feels very personal, and then just that combined with the fact that because of Pops, like Pops starting off his animation and him being able to get to the opportunity of making a regular show and it becoming one of the longest running Cartoon Network shows and getting it like the first Cartoon Network original movie since Ed, Ed and Eddie. It was just so successful and putting Pops at the center of the finale for everything because he's what started everything just makes it way more cool to me. And the fact that they even like do the meta humor, not humor, but the meta acknowledgement, I like that more
Mm.
too because it just feels like more like the fact that they acknowledge this has all been one show, the universe, their lives having a show, regular show for people to enjoy. Um, is just kind of like I feel like
It's
it's
thematically amazing.
Quintel. I feel like it's Quintel's way of saying, he's really glad he's got to work on the show. He's glad that, Pops was the beginning for him, and Pops will be the end of regular show, and he's glad he was able to make this from an animation standpoint, is how I interpret it. And I think
Yeah.
that's the coolest part of the finale. I don't really care about like the battle or anything else, but I just think that thematically is what makes it very personal to me.
You know what's crazy about the finale though? My headcanon has always been that when we got to like the finale where we saw the TV and then he took out the tape that has regular show, I always just thought my headcanon was that was actually JG Quintel like watching his own
Oh
show.
yeah, that's cool actually. I like that idea. I think
Um,
it was the seer
yeah.
that took it out at the end though, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was her because she said a little line when she took it out.
Yeah, that was always kind of my headcanon though. It was just like JG Quintel's like watching his own show, watching his own creation, watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger and like I first watched the finale, or like when it was like first in the air, I genuinely thought either Mordecai or Rigby were gonna be someone that dies in the finale.
Yeah, that's fair,
Like I
honestly.
was so scared to think that.
Especially after
Oh
the
man,
movie.
yeah, especially after the movie. Like I was incredibly scared that it was gonna be Rigby.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
I was
god, I did
super
not want it to
scared
be
that.
Rigby.
Because what I thought they were going to use like some stereotype where it's like Rigby he passed away in battle or some shit, and then it's like Eileen is pregnant, and then she raises the kid by herself. That was going to be something like that. What?
Yeah, I'm trying to find without uh hold on. Trying to see what his 1 second. I can't remember what it was, but basically Pops had like the final lines that he said to Mordecai and Rigby, and I'm like, damn, it kind of felt like a passing of the torch. Like, Pops was like the first character, and then Mordecai and Rigby became his new main characters for regular show, and I was like, damn, just seeing him being like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself for everything, but you two gotta keep going forward. I'm sacrificing myself so you can have your conclusion, and I'm like, thank you, Pops, for everything.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think like I don't know, like when it comes to me with the regular show finale, I actually like really really like it. I wouldn't say it's like one of my absolute favorites, but
Right.
I do think like everything came together like in a satisfying way. One of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite things actually about the regular show finale is that like Mordecai, he ends up with a different person by the end
Yeah.
because I think that fits in with like how actual relationships are. Like you don't end up with the person that you've been like chasing that entire time,
Right.
and he just ends up with like a random person. I always found it weird that like regular show fans like dislike that. So I always thought that was like more. I don't know. It made a lot more sense for that to
Yeah.
happen rather than him just like not finding another love. Because most of the time, your actual love is not someone that's actually meant to be in the first place, and I thought that was pretty cool. Um, it being Pops that like the one that sacrificed himself at the end was so cool to me when I was younger. Damn, I kind of want to rewatch regular show, but like I always thought it was like pretty cool. I don't really have much thoughts on regular show that hasn't like already been conveyed in like other videos and stuff.
Yeah. I think
But I just think the finale is fantastic. I feel like, although I will say that probably my favorite finale from any Cartoon Network show has got to be Adventure Times. Like I think
I
it's
have yet to
definitely up
see.
there for me. You gotta like, bro. How far are you even in Adventure Time, bruh?
I watched a lot of it today. A little too much. I need to study more than I watched. But I'm at the end of season 9, so I should be able to finish it sometime soon. Probably next weekend.
Wait, what you say, Nico?
I said I watched a lot today, so I'm near the end of season 9.
Oh,
And I should be able to finish it by next weekend.
do you have any opinions on it so far?
My opinions are that I think there's way too much nothing in Adventure Time. Like that was the problem.
Well,
I was able to follow regular show for the most part as it
yeah,
aired, and even just as if even if I didn't catch stuff on TV, and it came to the point where I would watch. I didn't even catch the final season of regular show on TV or a lot of the Dome stuff. I watched that online after, but I still was interested because even after I stopped watching it air, it was regular show. I still liked regular show, so I kind of fell out of that. I fell out of TV around the same time. So around when I stopped regular show, I stopped watching Adventure Time. But like, I was like more interested in finishing regular show because it ended first 3 years before Adventure Time, but also like Adventure Time had so much nothing going on a lot of the time, and that really turned me off, especially after how long it had been running. Or like I
yeah,
stopped watching it around season 6, 7, around 7-ish. Like a 7, I just caught glimpses, like episodes here and there, but like I just didn't. I don't. It was so hard for me to follow because you would have episodes with plot points, and then you'd have two following episodes that are just not related, and then the next episode will come back to that plot point, and it's just really kind of not well organized. It doesn't really, as for a weekly show, it didn't keep my interest long enough until I saw people on the internet like, "Whoa, but look at the new Adventure Time stuff," and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah,
that's cool. Well, I guess now I'm going back to it because I'm want to finish it, but like at the time, I was just like." So many episodes were just not interesting or that fun to watch. Like
yeah. I get you,
it's
man.
so long.
It's a very lore heavy show, especially in the later seasons where it will have episodes that evolves around. What I really like about Adventure Time is that not every single episode that's in it is revolves around Finn or Jake. Some episodes could just be about Princess Bubblegum, Marceline, or any other lore heavy character that's a part of it. A lot of
Yeah.
episodes, like the main reason they have it structured like that is because like a lot of episodes, um, the main reason they have it like that is because like one character will show up like probably in the earlier seasons, and then like for the next 2 episodes, the next like 2 episodes are going to be revolved around what that character has been up to and the lore. Uh, and I do kind of agree with that. I think the way it's structured is a bit weird since it's a bit weird, but I also don't mind it as much since a lot of I feel like a lot of it just had to do with the fact that like a lot of Adventure Time episodes are like 11 minutes. When I can easily see a lot of plot points in Adventure Time can easily like go on for like 23 minutes. Since I feel like a lot of like those episodes where it would just like focus on another character rather than the main characters that we like know, like Princess Bubblegum, Jake, and Finn. I feel like those could have just been B plot points in a 23-minute episode, but they probably wanted to expand the lore a bit more on that. Um, if, I have like the same experience to an extent. Like I watched Adventure Time for a long time, many seasons in fact. But I feel like around the later seasons, I just kind of stopped watching it. Not only just because Cartoon Network, like the timestamps that they've been airing them were like really bad, but I also think that like Adventure Time, in and of itself, really felt like it had nothing else left to offer in its story around the later seasons. Sure, it still had like a couple like amazing and fantastic plot twists that adds to the lore, but for the most part, it feels like it was just sort of repeating the same, not the same plot points, but I don't know. It was just kind of like getting unamusing to me, and I wanted to expand my
Mm,
taste into other things. Adventure Time, in my opinion, Adventure Time really does suffer from going on for too long.
yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
And you could really feel that whenever you actually like watch a show, especially when you're on binges. You can actually feel like you can like feel that Adventure Time has been going on for too long. You could argue the same thing for regular show, and I also like have the same feeling about that. But I also think regular show, when it comes to the actual execution of what they tell, is a lot more simple and well executed compared to Adventure Time. Since regular
Right.
show is not as lore heavy as Adventure Time. Yeah, that's how I felt about it. Although the end, all the lore stuff will make a lot more sense around the final when you get to like the final season. It'll all
Yeah.
like tie in together. But I can totally. That's like a completely valid point, though. I can't lie.
It was the same thing with. It's hard for me to say this compared to Steven Universe because I know Steven Universe was shorter, but it was around. I didn't finish Steven Universe on TV. I finished it online. Like I also fell out around
Oh,
it, and
really?
then yeah, I think I stopped watching like. Oh man, I don't know the seasons by episodes, but like it was around. I'm trying to think plot point wise where I stopped watching Steven Universe on TV. God, what happened up to the finale before? Okay, I think it was after Bismuth. I definitely watched
Was it when
on.
Steven showed up to like the Diamond's homeworld?
I think so. I think it
Almost.
was when I
No.
started watching online or when he first met the Diamonds. I really can't remember, but all I remember is that when the Steven Universe movie came out, I had not finished the show. So I had to binge finish everything I hadn't seen to watch the movie with my IRL, and then I caught Future as it aired.
Okay. I watched all of Steve. Surprisingly, I've watched all of Steven Universe when it was airing. I would only miss like maybe one or two episodes, but a lot of like the episodes that I actually missed weren't really like super lore heavy, and I would just catch up on them pretty fast since you just catch them online for free.
Right.
But yeah, I watched all of Steven Universe online. Well, not online. While it was airing, including the movie and Future. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I've always had like my own personal mixed opinions on Steven Universe that I really do want to touch on. I don't know if we should shift this to a Steven Universe conversation,
I
if
don't
that's
care.
fine with you. Yeah, but
It's whatever. I finished saying
what
what I wanted to say about. Well, actually, I'll come back to regular show later, but go on.
one of my one of my biggest gripes with Steven Universe has always been how they handled Lapras's character. I don't
I
know if that's
agree.
like
I kind of agree with you, sorta.
a super hot take, but I don't know the way they handle Lapras's character, like post her meeting Steven, is like very. I don't know how to describe it. I know that like the whole point of Lapras is that she's meant to be like a trauma victim, and how that said trauma affects this like a person's mentality. But here's my issue with that: Lapras never once apologized to anybody for any action that she actually did in the show. At least not apologize on screen. For
Right.
Jasper, I was a bit mixed on it at first, but I was like, this is kind of fine since I guess it's kind of payback. Um, but for fuck, I'm trying to remember what's her name.
Peridot?
Peridot. I was trying to get the name down. I don't know why I just couldn't think. Okay, but for when it came to Peridot, when she stole the barn and then just left,
Right.
I don't know, it didn't feel right to me because she never, like, even when she came back, she never truly apologized to Peridot on screen. And that has always never sat right with me because not only was, like, Lapras, for most of it, like, kind of very toxic. I could understand her mindset during that time, right? But for her to just not really apologize to her, and then her arc just kind of concludes there because Steven Universe was already ending. I don't know. It always never really satisfied me personally when it came to like that sort of writing. I also feel like the writing when it came to Amethyst and Pearl was always a bit inconsistent, since they always felt like. I mean, for Amethyst's case, I was personally fine with that since I felt like Amethyst as a whole is a very inconsistent character that constantly goes through different emotions. So
Yeah.
I thought like that kind of writing kind of fit with her character. Could it have been written better, or she could have had a, I guess, better conclusion per se to her arc? Yeah, to an extent, I think it could have had like better plot points. Could have been a bit better written, but I was overall satisfied with it. While Pearl, I don't know, Pearl for a lot of the series is mostly fine, but she can be extremely unlikable, especially when it comes to Rose. Even when you learn about the trauma that she's been through with Pink Diamond and the Rose, I still felt like that Pearl when it comes to dealing with the trauma, could have still had a better execution to how she was able to convey that said trauma without taking it out. I still feel like the fusion episode when it came to Garnet is probably one of my least favorite episodes in all of Steven Universe. It just felt wrong. I don't know if you remember the episode I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Like, I don't know. I've always had Steven Universe is a fantastic show. I still love it. I still get like an 8 out of 10. But I don't know. Just like when it comes to like the writing of it, I feel like it's very kind of inconsistent. Um, not inconsistent enough to the point where like it's unwatchable. Since I feel like Rebecca Sugar, when it comes to writing, and a lot of her writing staff, they do a pretty good job. But it always feels like it comes down to execution, crunch, and Cartoon Network kind of just treating them like shit.
Uh-huh.
During most of that airing. The reveals were pretty good. I still do think that the diamonds, writing wise, especially White Diamond, is a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, definitely. That's not a hot take at all.
It could have been just written so much better. Not better. I actually thought Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond were like fine for the most part, right? It's just that like they're quote unquote them just like accepting Steven, especially for Yellow and White Diamond. I feel like it just kind of came so fast. Like, I don't know. I feel like if Steven Universe probably had another season, excluding Future, of course, Future in the movie, if it had another season to establish that, I feel like it could have really been very interesting. But it kind of just happened so fast.
Yeah.
I do disagree that like Steven forgave the diamond, since like if you watch the movie and Future, it's pretty obvious that he has an awkward relationship with the diamonds, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. But the execution of their writing, especially for White Diamond, I feel like was just excruciatingly underwhelming for me. Yeah, I feel like that's most of my opinions on Steven Universe. Character writing wise, it's mostly fine. I think Steven is a great character, especially for how young he is. Connie is great. Brooke is 50-50 for me. Amethyst, for the most part, is pretty great, and Garnet is probably my favorite character in that show.
Yeah.
Well, that's just because he's probably the most consistent writing-wise. And I could probably talk about Future, but I want to hear your opinions.
I am of similar opinions. I think everyone agrees that the change in mind was very, very rushed.
Very rushed, yeah.
And I think Pearl was like a very hit and miss character for them with her episodes. Like some were really good, and then some were really bad.
Bro, that episode with the person that like looked like Rose is still probably one of my least favorite episodes. It just felt really weird.
I get that.
Mm.
But then because then it's like we got episodes like those, but then contrarily we get episodes like Do It For Her and Mr. Greg,
which are
really
pretty
good.
Great.
Yeah,
really good
great
episodes.
Pearl episodes, and then you get the other bad ones. So I'm just like, you know.
It really does just feel like they didn't know what to really do with their character for a lot of the time. Since her whole character was being like Rose obsessed.
It felt like her character arc was solved way earlier on, but they just they didn't know what else to do, so they just stretched out her problem longer. Even though she resolved it with Steven multiple times.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, it was pretty much a case of just repeating a character arc that was already executed.
I feel like
I really dislike like repeating character arcs. Yes, it really did feel like she was repeating the same arc over and over again, and I get that the review was like pretty humongous, but I don't know. It really didn't. It really did feel like for a lot of the series, they didn't really know what to do with it. Is that like all you got for Steven Universe?
I think Amethyst was handled probably the best of any of the crystal gems.
Oh, really? Even over Garnet?
Yeah, I like Amethyst more than Garnet.
Oh, well, yeah. But I meant like writing wise.
Writing wise, Garnet's
I think Garnet is a lot more consistent than Amethyst, but I do see the appeal of Amethyst since
Garnet's
Amethyst is my probably in my like top 3 favorite like Steven Universe characters. I think she was handled well. I think the best way to describe Amethyst is like a confused teenager.
Yeah, that definitely what she is, because she's also like kind of depicted to be the youngest. But I'm also
Yeah.
really upset because this is one of my other gripes that Future did not fix, and I was really hoping that it would fix, is we never got an Amethyst Rose backstory episode, and
Oh
that
yeah.
really pisses.
Oh
That's like one of my
yeah.
biggest problems with Steven Universe. That pisses me off the most, is that we never got an episode about how they meet, but we get an episode for Garnet and Pearl and Pink Diamond flashbacks, but never how Amethyst is found.
Dude, I completely forgot about that. Oh my god. I feel like the writers forgot too.
Yeah, it feels like it. I never forgot. I was always waiting for the day we'd get to see it, but it just didn't happen.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it, though.
Yeah, it
Yeah, that's
is,
crazy.
because
They always like implied. They always like implied or foreshadow it of how they met Amethyst, but we never got like a full on backstory of what happened.
yeah,
They talked about it a lot too, especially when they went to the cluster or whatever it was called. I forgot. No, playground. I think right.
yeah, the play kindergarten.
Kindergarten. Yeah, they always talked about that. Wow, I never thought about it until now. That's crazy.
It's my number one gripe with Steven Universe.
You know what makes
My
it even worse
personal.
too? You know what makes it even worse for Future?
Mm-hmm.
We literally like seen them. Remember the 3 quote unquote Rose clones?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amethyst was with him during that time, and she was like the first one to see the clones too. The
Yeah.
fact that we still didn't get anything is kind of crazy now. Now
I
that you say that,
know. Yep.
I think yeah, from a writing standpoint, I think Garnet is probably the most consistent Crystal Gem. The only issue with Amethyst is episodes is not even like Amethyst's fault. It's usually just Pearl.
Yeah.
Like Pearl arguing with Amethyst. Those episodes could be very hit or miss for me. If you get my drift.
Yeah, I get what you mean. 'Cause a lot of the times, like, yeah, like a lot of the times it would be Pearl, kind of.
Pearl being mad over Amethyst about blah blah blah, and
Yeah,
then
and then
Amethyst thinking that's stupid.
Amethyst kind of like reacts to it the wrong way sometimes, but that's like, the teenager deal. That's how they be. That's how.
I will say though, probably Amethyst's worst episode to me, in my opinion, is the one where she turned into Rose in front of Greg.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
episode was bad. I don't like. I remember liking it a lot as a kid, but now that I like look back at it, I'm like, yeah, that was probably her worst episode. Especially when she knew that Greg was still having like conflicting feelings about Rose and like her death and whatnot. It was just very messed up for him. It felt the episode as a whole felt out of character for Amethyst, in my opinion.
I feel like I'm mixed on it.
I think it was, yeah. I was very mixed on it for a long time. I don't know. It just I'm just like thinking, why did the writers do this?
It felt it made
I feel like
sense to me, but it felt a little too childish for Amethyst. Like, I
I
get the
did. I
mindset.
really didn't like that she turned into her, and then he would like Greg's over there, like in the corner, like sad, and then she was like, "Turn around." And I was like, "That really doesn't feel like Amethyst would do that, though." That's how I felt. Well, she would do that, but not to that level, like not to that extent. Especially if she knows she's hurting someone. I don't
I
know. It just felt kind of out of character.
I'm partial to it. I think it is out of character in the sense that it feels Amethyst is very mature, but like it feels like her most immature moment. But I also understand that like she, when cause Greg was a lot younger when he was with Rose, and of course Amethyst was too. And I'm imagining the gems, especially Amethyst, didn't really interact with any people until like that much many people till Steven came along. So I'm guessing that like
Yeah.
when Greg came to see Rose, of course a lot of times she wouldn't be there because of missions and shit. My idea is that Amethyst, he probably hung out with Amethyst a bunch. She probably like took a liking to him because she was a lot younger then, and but he usually just came for Rose, and but he was always in a good mood and would probably hang out with her because he was happy he was with Rose. And then when she disappeared and he had to take care of Steven, and they stopped hanging out. And of course she had been hanging out with Steven, but I get that she missed probably hang out with Craig, and now he kind of felt
Yeah.
really sad, and she you know, was like, okay, well, you're always happy when Rose is around, so why don't I turn into Rose? And why can't we still hang out and things be the same? But it felt, I get that, but it felt like too mean spirited. Um,
Yeah, I feel like the plot synopsis and like the plot like itself is actually like it's like fantastic. Since I thought it adds a little bit more lore to Craig and how his feelings on the crystal gems. I thought that was well. I guess the best way to describe it is good plot point. The execution probably could have been better.
yeah,
Really, really good, like solid plot point, but the execution felt a bit rough to me. That could have also been like a better episode to I guess establish how Amethyst met Rose, but that's also a miss. But I get it. They probably had limited time and they couldn't probably do both.
yeah. But other than that, I felt like Amethyst had some pretty good episodes for the most part. She has a lot of my favorite ones.
Yeah, her episodes are always pretty good. Only time where they're ever like either kind of bad or inconsistent is usually when like Pearl plays a big factor into it. Because then it would just be like an arguing episode. Although some of them are not that bad, but her episodes with like Steven by herself has like always been my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So you gonna finish any of your thoughts on regular show or Adventure
Yeah,
Time? I guess.
I was gonna say, regular show, I think for an episodic series is fucking so fantastic all around. Like not only does it have a lot of like clever writing, the characters it's very charming. Like I pretty much love the entire park cast. Um like no matter whose episode it is, I feel like it's always entertaining unless like, it's a I mean, if it's usually not a park character, I don't care. Like if it's like there's a one Margaret episode in season 7 that I just did not care about, but everyone in the park is very charming. I always love Benson episodes; those are some of the funniest ones to me. Um,
Yeah,
like
Benson ones are hilarious.
yeah, all the concepts with him are usually great. Like one of my favorite ones was the one where they knocked him unconscious and then took him to a party and had him eat spicy like shit all night.
Wow. God, I love that episode, man. It's
So
so good.
good. Um, but it's just there's so much good. I love that it's episodic because it allows for and its premise just means they can just make up the
Pretty
craziest
much do
shit,
anything.
and it just works. They're just like, oh hey dude, you wanna I'm gonna go we're gonna eat an egg omelet challenge. And they're like, "Oh yeah, let's do this." And then Rigby goes into a fucking coma, and Mordecai has to prepare himself for the challenge. And when he finally
Oh
completes
my
the
god.
challenge, all the employees like try to stop him, and he wins and goes
When he punches
transported
Benson in the face.
to another dimension to pick his hat. And it's so fucking funny.
Like, I still remember that episode just because he punched Benson in the face.
Yeah, that episode had a good character moment. That's why I also love it so much, is because he kind of had to. It was like a wake up call for Benson. He like punched
I also
Rigby
like that
for
there's
saying
those
that's
like.
what Rigby gets for slacking on his work.
I also like that like it's not purely episodic. Like
Yeah,
I
this
don't know how to describe it, but
continuity
like
is
there's still like
kept.
a quote unquote ongoing story to an extent. Like so some episodes will be kind of plot relevant later, I guess. But for the most part, it's mostly episodic. It's really a case where it's like 80% episodic, 20% like quote unquote actual story going on,
All right.
which I thought is great. I
Yeah.
think more shows should do that. They can keep like an audience span and keep an audience still invested.
Yeah, I mean, there's continuity kept, but there's really no story until the dome comes into play, and that's really the
Yeah,
only
pretty much.
time that the narrative
Yeah,
actually progresses.
the dome is the only time. Yeah, it's like the dome is the only time where there was actual story relevant shit.
The rest of the time, it's callbacks or just continuity things, like characters getting girlfriends or characters doing things and they come back
Yeah.
later, or returning characters, etc.,
No
etc.
episode I love.
What?
The High Five and Muscle Man like first meeting episode.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh man, and that episode. I mean, I really love a lot. I think Muscle Man. You know, like this is probably your favorite like character episodes.
Yeah.
My personal favorites are the Muscle Man ones. Those ones I always remember. The trucker hat shit suit was still crazy to me. I still think about that episode. My dad is a truck driver.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking back at some of these because every time I put the season in my media thread, I'd list my favorites, and I'm just going through my favorites, and I'm just fucking remembering the one where Mordecai and Rigby. Like, I love regular show is way like it's funny, but I think it's made funnier by the fact that when you read out a plot synopsis for an episode, it sounds way more ridiculous than the actual episode itself. Like Mordecai and Rigby stay up all night, you know, watching TV and they can't get their work done the next day, so they need help to re- to reset their sleep cycles. So they go to a fucking outer space and they have to race motorcycles to catch a sun in order to reset their sleep cycles.
Bro, that's. I think the main reason why is because like everything that's happening in a regular show is just like so normal to all the characters. Like everything that's happening to them is just like
They just
like
fucking go with it
normal.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, they just go with it. It's normal to them. While if you read out the plot synopsis, it's just like wow, wow. Oh man, there's so many episodes like that too. I think that's like the biggest charm about regular show. Oh man, there's
And
so
then
many like.
and there's the
Li-
movie. The movie has one of my movie. The movie is not really one of the movie's really the only other time there's like an actual narrative. But I like the
Yeah.
movie because the movie's more, I think, has better character moments than really any narrative. Because the movie's really just for Mordecai and Rigby's relationship.
Yep, which I like since it feel like
Yeah.
no, I was going to say that like their friendship I guess it never tested, but it's always tested in the show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, a lot of the times, yeah.
And the moment where Rigby reads, he tells Mordecai the truth and reads his rejection letter from college is one of my favorite moments in the show.
It's also one of the most fucked up moments because I'm
Yeah,
like,
it is very
wow.
fucked up, but it also like makes him going back to high school later and graduating like
Yeah,
way more of a proud moment.
yeah, like it hits a lot more because of that. I like that they're kind of dickheads to each other to an extent, but they
Yeah,
still love each other. I think that's great.
yeah. Even Mordecai, who was like petty when Rigby was graduating, he was really petty about it because he thought it was dumb that Rigby had, everyone was celebrating him graduating high school at 23, but Mordecai was just upset because he didn't have anything to show for himself at this moment. Like he didn't accomplish. He already graduated high school, but he hasn't done anything since. And
Yeah,
he was kind of used to being like the smarter one, the more responsible one in him and Rigby's friendship, but now Rigby was like kind of was growing as a person, and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and I thought that was such a great character moment.
It is.
I felt like it was very real. Like it's very realistic for
Oh yeah,
him to feel that
definitely.
way.
That
Well,
absolutely happens in real friendships.
yeah, absolutely. Liam, Liam is just gonna reveal to you
Yeah.
you went to college and all your work has just not been there. Just
Nothing mattered.
and Liam's gonna be like, "Oh, Nico, I got your message. I got your letter. It turns out that you never applied for that college or some shit." But actually, I kind of curious who's the Mordecai or the Rigby to you and Liam.
Well, neither of us have dated people, so it's kind of hard to say who's Mordecai.
Yeah.
I'd say it's kind of weird because, like, feel I feel more like Rigby than I do Mordecai. I feel like Liam would be more akin to Mordecai, um, minus the relationship stuff.
Oh, really? That
Yeah,
makes sense.
and I'd be more akin to Rigby, um, minus the irresponsibility, kind of. I mean, I'm okay. I'm more akin to Rigby minus school.
Minus
Like
school.
I didn't have, I was able to graduate high school and go to college, but I feel like personality wise I'm pretty similar to him.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I meant from like a personality standpoint.
Yeah, definitely Rigby. I'm Rigby, definitely. I get spontaneous and randomly fucking aggressive over stupid things. Like last night, we had a mishap with our Moe's burritos, where the lady at the register mixed up me and my roommates. And like when I noticed that our burritos were wrong, he already ate half of mine, and I was just I like I threw a fit. Like my autism just kicked in, and I was like very aggravated about the whole situation.
My man's had a re moment.
I was like, fucking hell, we drove all the way out there for a movie. The power in the theater was so we couldn't even see the movie. So we got Moe's nearby, but it was like, a fucking half-hour drive both ways. So I did a round trip for no movie and just to get burritos, and my burrito got ate by someone else.
All I'm saying is, I would just ate their burrito.
I didn't like that.
Half of
I
it.
didn't like their burrito. I don't like what was in theirs. That's how I noticed they were mixed up.
Look, bro. Sometimes you gotta put your pride down. No, your pride up in order to eat that burrito.
Never.
I'm joking. But that honestly, that's pretty valid though. It's like a valid like reaction.
Yeah. Liam he went to another nearby Moe's and he got me a new burrito.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I was still like, but yeah. Yep, I'm definitely Rigby. No doubt.
That makes sense. um, fuck, I was eating a cookie, but so what you rank regular show now? 10 out of 10?
I would give this show a 10. Problems with it are almost non-existent. Uh, I mean, yeah, I don't really have any problems with it. I think while parts of the finale underwhelm me, as a whole, it's fine. I don't think it's really weak or bad. And for an episodic show, I think it has great characters, great comedy, good writing. You know, um, I like the animation and art style. I really, I don't have any problems with it. Overall, I think it's like up there as one of my favorite cartoons in general.
What even are your favorite cartoons?
Well, let's see. We got Gravity Falls and Amphibia and Looney Tunes Show and Regular Show, and probably if I had to include others, mostly those, honestly.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I'd say Rise is also up there because the writing in that show is just so good.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes
and I'd also put up Gumball because God, Gumball's so fucking funny.
Gumball is hilarious.
And trying to think through other shows. I think Futurama as well because that show is just really well made.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of cartoons because I know I've forgotten lots of stuff that I watch. Probably Owl House too,
hmm
and probably Ben 10.
Yeah, Benson.
Those are definitely up
Some
those.
my favorite cartoons, I think probably like a top five ranking for me is obviously Avatar number one. Um, Number two, Teen Titans. Number three, uh, probably yeah. Number three, um, Clone Wars from Star Wars. Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Number four, 2012 TMNT,
Yep.
and number five, it can kind of vary, but it either will be regular show, Adventure Time, or yeah, just those two, regular show, Adventure Time, or Gumball. Top five could go either way. Oh
Interesting.
no, I'm stupid. Never mind. Top five is Avatar, Teen Titans, uh, TMNT, Ben 10, and Clone Wars. Yeah, I think that's my ranking.
I see. I
I just
see.
love Ben 10. Now, which specific Ben 10? I don't know. That's a little hard.
I'd say I think it's either
Omniverse is
it's
my probably my
between
personal favorite. It's not
yeah,
like a humongous gap compared to like
yeah,
the other iterations. It's like a smaller one.
yeah, I'd say Omniverse is here as well, and then the next closest would probably be uh I'd say the OG maybe.
But in the top 10, obviously, you got shows like BoJack. Um, you got shows like BoJack, Regular Show, Adventure Time, etc., etc. BoJack is a great cartoon.
I've heard.
Well, you haven't seen it yet?
Nope.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty good. Very nuanced character writing. I just really wish we had a lot more adult shows that actually have adult themes that just isn't comedy or purely comedy. Like I wish we had more adult shows that talks about more complex themes. But I guess we'll never really have that until animation as a whole is more respected.
I like Family Guy
You know,
funny moments.
Family Guy funny moments. Oh, man. Don't worry, bro. Avatar's gonna be up there. I promise. We
We'll
gonna make it out
see.
good.
We'll see.
I thought, bro, season three, best season of all time. No, I'm joking. It really is though. I really love that season.
I shall be the judge.
But how far are we so far into the podcast? Has it
We
been an
got
hour yet?
about 53 minutes.
I see. I mean, do you have anything else you really want to talk about?
I am thinking with my brain. Man, I'm trying to think of what's been up with me lately. Other than watching all of regular show again, the only other stuff I've kind of been other media I've been consuming has been for my film class.
Yeah.
Which I watched Castle in the Sky for the first time.
Oh,
And I read Ghost in the Shell, the manga, and then I watched the 1995 Ghost in the Shell movie.
it's so good. Fantastic.
And I read the light novel of Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yep.
And I'm gonna watch the anime for that next week.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of been that. And then I've also been playing. I have not finished Ultimate Spider-Man yet, but I'm nearing the end? Question mark.
What issue you on? Nico,
100,
what? Oh, never mind.
128. 128.
Oh, you're not even remotely close.
Bruh, how many are there?
I think it's roughly 300.
What?
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Hold on. I'll look it up. Uh,
Okay, because I know here that it says there's 133 issues here from 2000, and then I saw in 2009 it got like relaunched.
yeah, 160 issues. Yeah.
Okay, so
So you're
I'm
on issue
near. I'm
129.
close.
Okay. Yeah. 22 volumes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, all right. I will get there in time soon. But I'm still not finished. I did finish. I'm still in the middle of that. I'm still in the middle of
Yeah, you're
DBZ.
about 3/4 of finishing Ultimate.
And
DVD
I've
fiction.
also been playing Resident Evil 2, the remake. I'm almost finished with it. I'm very close to beating it, and Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, it's really good. I played it before.
I like
Never
it.
playing it again. I'm too much of a pussy to play scary games
I like it a
or horror
lot.
games. I
I've
guess.
gotten past the scare factor, but I will say when Mr. X started chasing me through the police station, I nearly crapped my pants.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm super afraid of Resident Evil, right? Like, I'm not afraid of the zombies and shit, right? But, like, every single Resident Evil game, I swear to God, has a big ass buff dude that just chases you. It's
Yeah.
fucking terrifying. I hate it. Like,
Oh
bro,
yeah.
even when I'm watching people, like, play, I still get an adrenaline rush. I'm just so terrified. I don't know why. It's just so fucking corny.
Yeah,
Man.
in one it's not that bad because the only person that chases you in one is Lisa, but that's only in certain areas.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't chase you in the mansion, she chases you down in like the catacombs.
Yeah, oh god, like I don't know. I just hate those big ass books,
Oh, I hate it
especially
too.
like Resident Evil 3 is probably the worst, bruh. Oh my god, when it comes to
I heard in the original Nemesis is like really terrifying.
bro, that nigga is fast. Oh my god, I hate him. Oh man, God, that's the I don't know why I was a kid. I was playing Resident Evil, but that's still some of the scariest shit to me that I ever experienced. Like,
Yeah,
just imagine you're having a good time, and you just like run into one door. He's just right there standing.
yeah. Oh my god, that's the worst part. It happened to me one
But
time with Mr. X.
so,
He showed up in front of me at one point, like once when I turned a corner, and I was like, I almost put my controller down.
like, yeah, bro, like the adrenaline, right? It just gets to you. Like, oh shit, oh shit, oh bro, like the zombies, they're okay, I guess. I feel like I'm sort of just like I don't really care about zombies anymore like that to be really like afraid of them. But Mr. X, hell no.
I heard it. It got worse when Liam, because Liam was sitting next to me while I played. When he
Yeah,
explained to me the AI for Mr. X in the remake, so he was like,
yeah.
"Okay," he's like, "Mr. X will go in the direction if he hears you run or fire gunshots. So if you run, he'll just start like heading from where he is in your general direction. But if you fire a gunshot, he will be teleported to a closer location to you."
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god.
And then that's how that's when you start hearing the footsteps get louder too, and I'm like, I hate this so much. And then I heard on
like,
the harder the difficulty you're on, the faster he moves. Because I was on normal, so he would just walk at me. But I heard on like hard mode, he fucking full on jogs.
yeah, he runs. Like,
I'm like,
I
that
watched,
sounds awful.
I watched Corey Kenshin because like, he plays like all the Resident Evil games on hard, right?
Right?
Bro, he died to him so many times.
Oh my god.
He's so fat, bro. It's so terrifying, bro. I would hate playing that.
Yeah,
Oh my
I could
god.
not do that. I can already barely get by on normal. Nah,
Yeah,
nah.
like my heart could literally not handle it.
I
Oh,
I
bro.
heard that unfortunately Nemesis got very like downgraded in the remake.
Yeah, he really did. He was a lot better than probably the original.
Yeah, that's what I heard is consensus. Though I will still be playing the remake.
The remake, yeah, it's solid, I guess. The consensus is it's just okay. That's always
That's
the consensus
definitely
I've heard. It's either range from bad or just okay.
yeah. I've heard three fans don't like it. But
Yeah,
if you're just playing it for the first time, then you'll probably like
yeah,
it more. So
yeah. You'll like it more. Yeah. Yeah. My consensus has always been that either three fans dislike it or just think it's okay, but not as good as the original.
yeah,
Which I'm like,
definitely,
yeah, that's pretty valid. That's pretty valid.
definitely was
Although I,
rushed.
yeah, although I do think it's nice that three fans are fine with saying that just because like it's graphically better doesn't mean that it's a better game overall.
Right.
I feel like too many people are so blinded to graphics to the point that like they don't think that they don't look at the actual quality of the game. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I have been doing though is like I went on like a big ass Avatar rewatch just because in a lot of my classes I don't have service, which is why like I'll have a conversation with someone while I'm on Discord and just randomly cut off because I don't have service in some classes. So, but since it was all on Netflix, I just downloaded all of them and stuff. Right. Um, Went on like a big ass Avatar rewatch and Korra rewatch and finished both series in like 2 weeks. And my appreciation, because I already said it was like my top five, but now my appreciation is even higher. Like I don't know, I don't know. I just kind of gotta. I became. This happens all the time too. I won't watch Avatar for a long ass time. Forget a couple things, come back to it, and then just like be hyper focused on it. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. Well, I guess it did kind of happen on a regular show, right? For you,
Oh, what happened?
like you won't watch a show for a long ass time or a little while, and then you watch it, and
Yeah.
then you just like super hyper focused on it, and now you're obsessed with
Yeah.
it to an extent.
I just rewatched
Yeah,
it to revisit it, and then I ended up just fucking rewatching the whole thing. I was just so hooked in, which is kind of weird
bro.
because it's been so hard for me
Literally,
to hook myself into other stuff. I'm like, damn, I was just so locked into regular show. Why can't I get locked into finishing Ultimate Spider-Man or Dragon Ball Z?
literally me. Like my friend keeps recommending me shows. I will get like one or two episodes in or a season in. I'm like, this is so much to watch. And then, like, I was like, I'll watch like maybe a couple episodes of Avatar, nothing crazy. And then I just binge through the entire thing in Korra too. And I'm like, fuck. A lot of episodes my friend keeps recommending me is always just like those shows that have like 1 hour episodes. And getting through those can feel like a slog to me. Not because of bad writing, since the writing is always pretty good, but it's just very, very slow paced. And some people
Yeah,
like slow paced shit, but I think slow paced is fine. But it's not like it's not my ideal way to watch a show. I like slow paced shows, but a lot of my favorite shows are either usually fast paced or very action heavy focused for the most part. Just because I like a balance of action and story in and some of my favorite medias rather than just like mostly drama. That's actually why it was
yeah,
super hard for me to finish Better Call Saul because for the first season it was like first two episodes were really good, and then for the rest of the season it was a bit hard for me to like fully binge it just because like
yeah,
the episodes would just be so long. Like oh man, like it was very hard for me to like binge it or like keep a focus on it. I feel like I probably have a bit of ADHD too. I'm not sure though, because I have an issue of just like not focusing on some things or having to do two things like at the same time. I also have this leg problem where my leg just constantly moves like all the time whenever I'm doing anything or standing still, or I have to move one part of my body. I feel like I probably do, but I need to go to a doctor to see it for myself. Honestly,
yeah,
but yeah, I feel like that's all I've really been doing other than school and
yeah. Same
I
here.
guess playing games with friends, but nothing really like crazy, honestly. I just want to Bro, I just want to get other people into Avatar so I could just talk about it with them.
How
Similar to how you
lame it
got me into
is.
Amphibia. You got me into Amphibia and Owl House. I want to do the
It's-
same thing.
we will finish one day. I can probably actually maybe let me think with my brain for a second.
Yeah.
I can probably watch more on Wednesday night and like
So bet.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm evenings. I should be good. I just have an exam this Wednesday, so yeah, Wednesday evening I can probably watch some more. So just send me a reminder by then,
Yeah.
and I can hop on for more Avatar.
Yeah,
Because
because we're getting to some of the best
I've been
episodes.
so sucked into regular show last week.
Yeah. That's actually why I didn't remind you about Avatar for all the last most of the last week, just because I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna binge through all the regular show. I'm gonna just wait until like after he finishes it, because he's gonna be way too hyper focused on regular show to think about anything else. I'm gonna just wait until he finishes it first. I think I did the right call though. Last week I was also really busy, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think we should probably end the podcast here.
Yep, this
I
is
don't
a
think we
good
have much
spot
else
to
to really
end.
talk about.
Nice mini cast for today. It gives me something to put out after 3 weeks of
Yeah.
nothing. All right, but yeah, thank you for listening to half of the amount of people that normally are. And
Mhm.
goodbye.